Hey everyone! Today I've got your Lincoln movie review. I was very fortunate to see this movie. I'm actually kind of glad that I did because I actually enjoyed it. This movie stars Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln. The movie's directed by Steven Spielberg, one of my favorite directors of all time. So naturally I decided I really have to see this movie. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of some of the more historical movies that are out there. I know this one wasn't one of my favorite movies, but it was really well done. I know that Steven Spielberg definitely has a track record with working with some of the best actors of our time, and you always have to have a John Williams soundtrack to go along with it, so I was like really excited for that. Also, I knew that this movie was going to be over 2 hours long, so I was hoping not to fall asleep because I know I tend to do that, especially when I saw War Horse, which was the last Steven Spielberg movie that I saw besides Tintin, so I knew that, of that type of movie, it was kind of going there, and that was kind of the same with this movie. I felt that it was dragging on a bit, even though, the story was great. It sort of talked about the life of Lincoln before he was assassinated, so, it was kind of interesting to see, what was going on there. I, for one, have to say that Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the best actors around, and of course, he nailed it in this role. I definitely thought his character was really believable, just by his appearance. I think the makeup department made him look really good as Lincoln. I know I talked about this in a Trailer Thursday video, that hearing his voice, I know there was a lot of controversy with that, or not really controversy, just, there weren't too many accounts of what he actually sounded like. A lot of people thought that he was going to have this, booming voice, when really, it was like a normal sounding voice. He was from Illinois, he's got to talk like that, but hey. I think he sounded great, I think he looked great, he definitely, he was the star of the show, and I think he did a really good job. Another actor I thought did a really good job was Sally Field as his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. I thought, she definitely deserves an Oscar or some kind of award for her role. I thought she definitely stood out to me as well. Also stood along, she wasn't sort of one of the background characters. She definitely put herself up in front, right next to Daniel Day-Lewis. I thought that was just really awesome. Most of the story, I wasn't so familiar with. I wouldn't really say that history is one of my favorite subjects, but just sort of finding out, I recognize some of the other characters and other important figures of that time and other actors that played them. Tommy Lee Jones, I thought, he definitely did a good job too as Thaddeus Stevens. That's what his name is. So I was like, okay, he looks good. It almost looked like Beethoven for a second. I was like, maybe he could be Beethoven in another movie. Another reason why I wanted to see this movie was because Joseph Gordon-Levitt, of course, I'm a huge fan of his. He plays Robert Todd Lincoln, and he didn't have that big of a role in the movie, but when he was on screen, I thought he was excellent as well. Just a couple more actors I'd like to name because they're just really well known, and some of them are also very underrated as well. John Hawkes and Jackie Earle Haley, I thought he was really good. And I definitely feel like with the tone of the movie and the pacing, I thought could have been done a little bit better, but of course you gotta remember, Steven Spielberg movie, it's gonna be 2 hours long, so be ready to sit there, go get some popcorn while you eat it, because it's what's gotta happen. I would definitely say see this movie, and you'll definitely learn a lot from this movie. I don't really know how much is factually accurate, because once again, I don't know my history as much as, maybe some other people, but if you know your history and you like presidents and politics and all that stuff, go see this movie. And if you're a fan of any of these actors, because especially Daniel Day-Lewis, he's just awesome. So if you have seen Lincoln, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of it. Who do you think stood out to you the most as well as acting goes. You guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.